Welcome to Mickey, Marvel, and More, Disney news, commentary, and opinion. From theme parks to Thanos and from Skywalker to Skyliner, my family and I will discuss it all. So let's go!
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hello, Mark here, and welcome back, finally, to another episode of Mickey, Marvel, and More. First up, a big thank you to all of our loyal fans and listeners. Thanks for your patience with us as we continue to rebuild our Yavin-based studios after our ridiculous flood. But I've got to tell you, your patience has paid off because this episode, we are back in Walt Disney World. That's right, back by popular demand is another boots-on-the-ground style Walt Disney World trip report. Our last trip report was all about last visits and goodbyes, but this trip will be all about new experiences, all new shows, new attractions, new parades, all kinds of great new stuff. So many new things to report on. So come along with us on our Mickey, Marvel, and More Walt Disney World Summer Trip Report.
If you are standing, please hold on to the handrails and stay clear of the doors. The monorail will depart momentarily. Thank you.
So we're here on day one of what we have dubbed the Summer Sizzle trip. Because it's July and it's gonna be hot. Laura and I are sitting here chilling out on our little patio at DVC's Old Key West Resort. And those that are unfamiliar with it, Old Key West here in Walt Disney World is themed after, well, as you would assume, the old bungalows and little cabanas from Old Key West, Florida. And it is the very first Walt Disney World Vacation Club resort that was built all the way back in, I believe, 1991.
I think that's right.
So I thought we would let you guys know the Mickey, Marvel, and More Summer Sizzle plan and how we're going to attack this summer Walt Disney World vacation differently than previous times.
So in the past, we've had a pretty typical schedule of getting up early in the morning, leaving the parks usually around lunchtime, coming back to the hotel, chilling, swimming, and then going back to the parks for a few hours in the evening. Even with a plan like that, it has been ridiculously hot, and sometimes it's difficult to go back in the evenings because we are just so wiped out from the heat and the sun in the parks and the humidity. Yes. So this trip we're trying something a little bit different. We are on most days going to stay back at the hotel in the morning and afternoon, and then we're going to head out to the parks early evening and stay until park closing most days, which we don't typically do. So it'll be late nights and then sleeping in the morning, and then pool time, resort time before we head out in the evenings.
Yeah, we're only going to stray from that a couple of different times. One will be when we go to Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
Because you've got to be there early for the safari. And the other day that we're going to do it will be, we're going to attempt to do a full day at Disney Hollywood Studios. We'll see if the Florida sun will allow us to do that, or in the case of what's about to happen here, the Florida thunderstorms will keep us from our chosen attack path.
One of the reasons that I think this late night sleeping in the morning plan will work is because we have a couple of nighttime events that we're planning to attend on this trip. One is the DVC Moonlight Magic Party at Epcot. That is a special ticketed event for DVC members only. That'll be a lot of fun coming up later this week. And then there's also a new nighttime parade in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that was one of the things I am super looking forward to. I'd mentioned in the open talking about all the new experiences and things that they are now offering in Walt Disney World, but I'm really looking forward to this. It's called Disney Starlight, Dream the Night Away. Of course, ooh. But what is really interesting is I know it had been a while since there had been a nighttime parade in Walt Disney World, but I didn't realize how long it had been. It has been since 2016. That was the last time that the Magic Kingdom had a nighttime parade, and that was one of the final runs of the Main Street Electrical Parade, although that show has had a billion final runs, although I think this was the final run in Walt Disney World. So this Disney Starlight Parade will be the first parade since 2016. So what's one of the new things you're really looking forward to, kid?
I'm really excited about the return of the Voyage of the Little Mermaid show in Hollywood Studios called The Little Mermaid: A Musical Adventure. This is a theater, Broadway-style show. It closed in 2020 when the parks closed for the pandemic and did not reopen. So that theater has been closed for 5 years. It was always a fun show and one that I always enjoyed seeing. It had a lot of neat special effects, plus the Broadway style performance. This is going to be a reimagined version of that show, so I'm interested to see what's different, what's the same, and just in general, what is new and fun to see about this new show.
Am I going to have to seatbelt you to the seat so you won't jump up with Ariel and start singing Part of Your World and splash upon the rock?
I'll be able to restrain myself.
Yeah, we are here this summer. It's Laura and I and Parker. Parker is with us, but he has chosen not to participate in the recordings. We'll see if maybe we can persuade him to join us, but I think the sullen teen may be sitting this one out.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, the adventure continues.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Okay, we are back here on the porch at our old Key West tiny little bungalow hideaway as we continue the summer Sizzle Walt Disney World trip. So let's talk about a few of the highlights from day 1 and 2. First of all, I want to ask you, honey, how do you think our new summer Walt Disney World travel plans are working with the late mornings and then the evenings in the parks? What do you think?
I think it's working great. I like to call it our beat the heat plan. So yesterday, after having a very late night on our arrival night,
Oh, yeah.
we slept in, spent the day at the pool, and then went to Magic Kingdom about 5 or so. We were not in the direct sun, so it did not feel hot, although it was still muggy because it's July
Right.
in Orlando, but not terrible. We stayed and rode several rides into the night, and of course once the sun went down it was pretty nice, relatively speaking. We did have an early morning today because we went to Animal Kingdom and wanted to catch the safari.
Well, when the animals are awake.
That's right, when the animals are out and kicking. But I think given the fact that we had had a relatively chill and cool day before, the day before, today did not seem like a death march.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely seem very oppressive and just, it can just morally beat you down to be down here in Florida in the summer. It really
Yeah.
can.
It also helps, I think, that we've been sticking to half days.
Yeah,
So-
you really have to do that in the heat. We've tried for so many years to push through, but we just end up beaten and broken by the end of the week. Are we selling that Walt Disney World vacations are fun?
It's fun. There's lots to do in lots of different settings, and I think you just have to adjust what you do to work with the weather.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think the one point that I noticed yesterday that I thought was kind of funny. Obviously, we had our late night, our very first day that we arrived, because not fault of our own. The airlines were delayed by 3.5 hours by weather and change outs, and our heads didn't hit the pillow till about 4 a.m. So it was a long, rough day. And we're sitting out our first full day here. We're sitting at the pool. It was probably, I don't know, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock maybe. We're sitting by the pool, sipping a drink, looking at the pool, sitting in our long chairs. I looked over at you and I said, is this what a vacation is supposed to be?
Yes. Yes, it is.
She's like, you know, honey, this is a vacation for most people. No, I think that the new plan is working, and I think in the summer, this is the way we're going to do it. Spring break, we can do it the old run and gun method, but this has really made a big difference, I think, during the summer. So let's talk about traffic the last couple of days. Our first day at the Magic Kingdom, what was the traffic report?
The predicted crowd level was a 5, and I would agree it was definitely a 5.
Out of 10.
5 out of 10.
As Zach had to remind us
Yes.
last time.
5 out of 10. The wait times for major attractions were not crazy. They were quite reasonable. We were able to ride, I think, 3 or 4 things in the course of just a few hours. So I would agree. Today at Animal Kingdom, the traffic report was supposed to be a 7. I think it was actually a little lighter than that.
I feel like it was too.
I would say more like a 6, perhaps even a 5.
Yeah, I think we didn't dip our toe into the Avatar area.
That's true.
The wait times for the Flight of Passage were off the charts.
Yeah.
So I think that's where most of the people were, and if they weren't there, they were waiting in line for the safari. We got there early enough that I think we only waited for the safari about 40 minutes.
That's right,
Which
is very reasonable.
I think that's definitely reasonable.
We also rode Dinosaur, and it was about a 20-minute wait.
R.I.P. Aladar. And, of course, Dr. Marsh.
Yes.
And Seeker.
Yes.
What could possibly go wrong? Hey guys, Future Mark here. I wanted to make a quick mention of something that we left out of our Animal Kingdom conversation. When we were on the safari this time, we got to see the baby giraffe. This is the same baby giraffe that we talked about on one of our more recent episodes. So in the show notes, there'll be a quick video clip of the brand new baby giraffe for you guys to check out. Although I think the highlight of today, which is the second day at Animal Kingdom, was probably our lunch at Tiffin's.
Oh, yes.
Tiffin's, if you're not familiar, is pretty much the best sit-down restaurant that Animal Kingdom has to offer.
No question.
No question about it. Yeah, and they are definitely a much fancier place, although you can go there in your Walt Disney World attire, your shorts and t-shirts, and that's, you know, pretty typical around here, even for a very good restaurant, except for maybe Victoria and Albert's, where you have to wear a jacket and tie.
Yes.
But Tiffin's is pretty much the premier place to eat at Animal Kingdom, and this is our second time there, and I've got to tell you, I was just floored. The food was so good.
It was amazing.
So what were the appetizers that we started off with?
We ordered 2 appetizers. First was their signature bread service, which is something that we've ordered in the past, but this time the presentation was a little different.
It was.
It was served on a very fancy metal high-rise tower.
We were fancy eating.
The Tiffin's bread service has 3 different breads and 3 sauces. There was a Brazilian cheese bread, a Thai crisp, and a coconut sweetbread. The sauces that went with those breads, you can mix and match.
Sure. They weren't tied to one particular bread.
There was a guava spread, a mango chutney, and a spicy curry dip.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it was really, really good.
Delicious.
Oh, and for those that are curious, we have taken pictures of all of our dishes and appetizers from Tiffin's, and they will be in the show notes.
The other appetizer that we ordered was seared tuna on a pork dumpling.
Yeah, it sounded a little odd at first. It sounded like maybe those two things wouldn't go together, but Parker really wanted to try it, and I gotta tell you what, it was really good.
It was. The tuna was perfectly prepared and
Ahi tuna.
Yes.
For those, yes.
Right. And the rub or crust that was on the tuna was delicious. The sauce was good.
Yes, it was all very good.
Very good.
So what was your entree that you had?
I love curry, and so I wanted to get their international curry sampler. And I can't sit here and tell you from memory specifically what those 3 curries were, but generally speaking, it was a green curry, a yellow curry, and a red curry.
Sort of a medium hot spicy.
Exactly. It was served in a very cute little lunch canteen that sort of looked like camping.
Yeah.
Camping equipment, like you might store a meal in these little metal compartments that hook together. But it was delicious, and it was served with jasmine rice. And then I ordered a side of grilled shrimp just to add a little protein.
Yeah, it did look really good. I remember you saying that at first you thought the spicy one was too spicy, and then I think it ended up becoming your favorite.
It was. The flavors of all 3 were really so good. It was just delicious.
And what's cool about this one is it could be eaten as a vegetarian dish.
Yes.
You didn't have to add the protein. So,
No.
I mean, it's a nice vegetarian option. So my entree was the good old-fashioned surf and turf. And I got to tell you, it was really, really good. It was 2 very well-prepared pieces of tenderloin that had a really, really good rub on it, which was a mix of Indian-style spices and I think a little bit of coffee. And then they had a polenta with it and vegetables, and they called it a Coca-Cola cherry sauce. And it was just so very good. It was such a good meal. I didn't deserve it. It was so good.
In Parker's absence, I'll tell you what
Yes.
he got. His order was a little more straightforward. He got their signature burger, which was a very thick patty with chopped up bacon mixed into the hamburger meat, and then also had cheese and sauce on a very good bun. It was kind of cool. The bun had a design stamped in it where it had been seared, which was pretty neat. And it came with waffle fries. I did have a bite of his hamburger, and I will say it was an amazing cheeseburger.
I too had a bite of his hamburger, and it was a really, really good hamburger. We also had a couple of desserts which were probably the lowest point of the meal. You ordered one just because you wanted a dessert at a fancy restaurant. Mine was pretty decent. I got a white chocolate creme brulee with, I believe it was the orange flavor in it, and it was really good. It was just served a little differently. It wasn't in your standard creme brulee sort of cup. It was just on a plate, and it had, I believe it was some sort of a raspberry type berry that was the sauce on the side that you mixed with it. It was really good, but I probably went too far and ate too much. And your dessert you had was called a chocolate bar?
Yes, it was a Mexican spiced chocolate bar.
That's right.
I wasn't sure if I would like the spicy Mexican chocolate. I've had some spicy Mexican, like a chocolate bar before, just like a piece of chocolate, and thought it was good, but I think it's the kind of thing that's best enjoyed in small quantities.
It was a huge dessert that you had.
It was a huge dessert. So I had a few bites of it. It was good. It wasn't great. Parker got a pot de creme for his dessert, and honestly, I think I liked the chocolate pot de creme better than my spicy chocolate bar.
So Tiffin's, highly recommended. If you're looking for just good counter service food, Animal Kingdom has you covered. There are great locations that are fast casual, counter service, great places to eat. And to check out our reviews of Animal Kingdom's quick service restaurant, go back and listen to our old episode, Animal Kingdom Park Bites. Before I forgot about it, I wanted to add a quick postscript to our Day 1, Day 2 activities. Our very first night in the Magic Kingdom, we were able to secure an individual lightning lane for a nighttime version of the Tron coaster. We have never ridden Tron at night. We've only been able to ride it during the day. And at night, if you're not familiar with Tron, the outside of the building is covered in this huge white dome type structure, and the coaster actually travels outside of the building for the first, I would say, 10, 15 seconds of the ride. And at night, the dome is tinted blue and orange, and the cars glow. So it really adds a really cool extra effect to Tron Light Cycle Run. We really, really enjoyed doing it. And we suggest if you have a chance to ride Tron Light Cycle Run in the evening, please do so, even if you have to stand in line to do it.
Seabase out Bluetooth service control. All hydrolators pressurized. Prepare for boarding.
10-4 Seabase. Hydrolators now boarding for departure to Visitor Center at sublevel 5.
Okay, we are back with continuing coverage of our Mickey, Marvel, and More Boots on the Ground Summer Sizzle Walt Disney World Trip Report. We spent an evening in Disney Springs, or Downtown Disney if you refuse to call it that, or if you're really old, the Marketplace, Pleasure Island, and the West Side.
For the old timers in the group.
For the old timers in the group. And before we get to that topic, I've got to mention something. This has happened twice now on 2 separate trips a year apart. We've had a bus that leaks. And it wasn't just, a drip on the window or there was a seal broken. This is the second bus we have traveled in that has leaked from the speaker vents in the ceiling. So you've got one of those, heavy, late afternoon, Florida thunderstorms coming down, and the rain is just gushing. And this is the second bus we have had where it's leaked through the speaker vents and through a few cracks in the ceilings. It's in the ceiling, and it has made like 6 to 7 seats on each side unusable, either because there's a puddle in it, or if you sit there, you'll become part of the puddle.
That's right.
I had never experienced a leaky bus before, and we experienced it, I think, last summer from a different resort going to a different location, and now we've experienced it this summer coming from a completely other resort going to a completely different location. So I can't imagine it was the same bus.
It may just be a sign that the bus fleet is aging.
Maybe.
And maybe needs some updating, because I don't recall this being an issue with buses in the past.
No, I don't think I've never noticed it ever before until the last couple of years. I will say that both of these buses were the slightly older design that don't have the USB ports.
Yes.
So maybe the lining in the ceiling is getting old. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and to be aware of it, you might get wet on this water ride.
Right.
When you don't expect to. Anyway, we went to Downtown Disney / Disney Springs / the Marketplace, and we went to our usual haunts. We went to the World of Disney store, we went to the Lego store, we went to the Co-op Market we went to.
Uh-huh.
And I've got to say, shopping has always been a lot of fun in Disney for us.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, and I think I've shared this, or Zach and I have shared this, that we feel like a lot of the merchandise is sort of homogenized, and it's pretty much the same stuff everywhere. It used to be, without fail, if you saw something, buy it because you might not see it again.
Right.
And sometimes that holds if it's a park-specific item.
Yes.
But I have noticed, in general, you can find pretty much anything everywhere, so there's not a particular reason to go to a specific place unless you just like the surrounding atmosphere.
Sure.
I mean, do you agree?
I agree 100%.
I think that the merchandise is pretty much the same everywhere, but it's still fun to shop. The Lego store is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
We always have a good time there. And the other thing that we always have fun with when we go down to Disney Springs is probably one of our favorite restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. It's called the Polite Pig. I don't know if we've mentioned it on the show before, but the Polite Pig is something that I feel like we felt like we discovered, although we aren't the only people in Orlando to have ever experienced it. I think there are only 2 locations of this chain, and it's here in Orlando.
Yes.
And one happens to be in Disney Springs. We saw it the very first time right after they'd done the Disney Springs remodel and they had opened up the new parking garages. We had driven that time and we had just happened to get out of the parking garage, and it dumps you right out into the middle of the Disney Springs district, and the first restaurant to the right is the Polite Pig. And we could smell the barbecue before we got out of the parking garage.
Yeah.
And of course we were hungry. We were like, you know what? This is right here. It's barbecue. We like it. We'll give it a shot. But we have fallen in love with this place.
It's so good.
I mean, we lovingly call it the Pig.
Yes.
And when Zach, who is in Chicago right now, we texted him that we were going to the Pig, and he texted his brother Parker and says, "Are you gonna get oinked?" And we can confirm that Parker did get oinked. I mean, what is it you like about this place, honey?
So just to set the scene, it's a fast casual barbecue restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that the quality of the food is definitely higher end barbecue.
Yeah.
The sides, the entrees themselves are just really good quality food. In fact, it's a Michelin recommended restaurant.
Yeah, we hadn't noticed that designation before, but we were in the line waiting to order this time, and we saw there was a plaque on the wall that said Michelin 2024.
Yeah, actually, when I looked into it, they've been a Michelin recommended restaurant for the last 3 years.
Wow.
So that's pretty high recommendation for the food quality. So basically, it has what you would typically expect to find in a barbecue restaurant: pulled pork, roasted turkey, burnt ends. But for me, it's really the sides that elevate it.
Their sides really are good.
They are, and in fact their sides are so good. This last time when we went, I actually ordered 4 sides. They have a deal where you can get 3 sides.
Correct.
At a little bit of a discount than if you just ordered the 3 sides on their own, and you can have that as your meal.
But what's great about it is these sides aren't small portions either.
No. So I had the macaroni and cheese, I had the burnt ends chili, which is made both with burnt ends and with sausage in their chili. In fact, it was so thick it was really almost more like a side dish than it was a soup.
Well, yeah, it really felt like almost like a hearty dip.
Yes.
I did sample it. I've had it before, and it's really good.
And then my third side item was the roasted beets. And lest you think that this is just some roasted beets on a plate, it's roasted beets with mandarin oranges, a yogurt drizzle, and then a very good pecan praline granola crumble on the top.
Yeah, it's not just your little tiny ridiculous plate of beets. It's actually a dish.
So good.
It is so very good. And this time I had burnt ends. I'd never ordered their burnt ends before, and they were really, really good. And I think my side was, I got the Brussels sprouts and the coleslaw, and it always comes with a jalapeno cornbread roll muffin, which is always very good. But there are so many good plates to get here: the turkey, the beef, the chicken, the pork. It is also very good. So definitely highly recommend the Polite Pig. Get oinked.
Welcome aboard, TTA travelers. Whether you're a humanoid, a robot, or an alien passenger, we hope you enjoy your trip along Tomorrowland Transit Authority's Super Skyway.
I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but we are clearly down at the pool at Old Key West in the Turtle Pond area. This is the Turtle Pond pool, and it is a really nice place to be in. Since we have been spending so much time at the pool, we thought it would be fun to record down here because we are actually finally treating this like a vacation and doing things that normal people do. We're sleeping in the morning, we're spending time at the pool, and then, in the afternoon and evening, we're going to the parks then when the sun isn't beating down on your skull. And I've got to say, my eyes have been opened. A couple of times we're getting up in the mornings to do certain things that you have to do. You know, if you want to get to the safari, the animals are up in the morning. If you have lightning lanes or early entry, but doing this in the summer, I cannot recommend this enough. Sleep in, hang out at the pool, and in the afternoon and evening go to the parks. You will thank yourself for it. So anyway, we're hanging out down here by the pool, and we're going to set up one of the next days we experienced, where we started it off with a late sleep and a pool morning.
It was great.
Just like this.
Yep.
And then we went in the late afternoon to Epcot, and we experienced a thing called DVC Moonlight Magic. You want to fill the folks in on what that is, hon?
Sure. So DVC Moonlight Magic is a special party only available for Disney Vacation Club members. And you actually have to register online to get a ticket. And not all DVC members that want to attend the party are able to get a ticket. The registration is limited, so there's only a very few people that are allowed into the party, so it's not overly crowded, which is really nice. The way the party works is you're usually able to check in and get your party favors a couple of hours.
That's a good way of calling it.
Yes, before the official start of the party. So even though the party was actually from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., which was after Epcot closed.
They close at 9.
We went and checked in around 7 o'clock, which was the earliest that you could check in, and we got our 3 snack vouchers per person so that we could start eating. And we took those snack vouchers to Germany, where we used 1 snack voucher apiece in order to get a German bratwurst with sauerkraut and paprika chips and drink.
Yeah, I don't think the drink was supposed to be included.
I don't know. It was at Germany's Summerfest. So that was a really great way to kick off our DVC Moonlight Magic Party with a free dinner. Then we kind of made our way around World Showcase as evening fell. And right around the time that the park was closing at 9 o'clock, we got in line for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and had a very short wait before riding that ride, maybe only 15 minutes. Then we continued on around World Showcase, used a couple of our other snack vouchers, one to get maple popcorn in Canada, and another voucher to get the poutine in the snack shop that is near Canada.
Yeah, next door to Canada.
And then continued our walk through the park and riding rides. One of the things that's really fun about the Moonlight Magic parties are they have special character greetings. So although we didn't take the time to stop and do them, we did see the Donald and Daisy character greeting. We saw one with Duffy the Disney Bear. We saw Thumper and his friend Miss Bunny.
I don't know if it was the same in the movie Bambi, if it was his girlfriend he had at the end of the film or just some random bunny. But another thing that's cool about these DVC Moonlight Magic events is they roll out characters you don't always see. So Duffy the Bear has not been, a mainstay in the character lineup for a long time. I've never seen Thumper. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They had Star-Lord and Gamora over by Guardians of the Galaxy. Daisy and Donald were dressed up in their DVC member gear. There's a DJ that plays music, and they play videos on a big screen. And the other really cool bonus is at 10 o'clock, you don't have to use your snack vouchers for the ice cream, because the ice cream is free at several locations. What can you choose from, kid?
You can get a Mickey Premium Bar, a Mickey Ice Cream Sandwich, or the Outshine Strawberry Fruit Bar.
And you can have as many of those as you want.
Unlimited.
We did several different stops on our way around. I mean, and one thing that's really great about this, since it is such a limited amount of people, Epcot feels like it's empty.
Yeah, it was pretty neat walking around, and you really felt like you had the park to yourself.
And the waits for the rides that were open were minimal.
We walked on to Soarin', we walked on to Living with the Land, I think the wait time for Guardians, had we chosen to wait in line for that, was under an hour.
It was, and that's pretty low for an average wait time for Guardians. It just so happened that we had pre-purchased an individual Lightning Lane for Guardians later on in the week, before they announced there was going to be this DVC Moonlight Magic night. So we didn't bother to wait in line for that. But it's just so neat, and I wish I had a guest to have brought with me, because you got an extra bonus if you brought a guest with you.
That's right.
You got a free luggage tag or something
I think
like
so.
that? This is I think the third or fourth DVC Moonlight Magic night we've been to, but I will say I think this was maybe the best one we've been to in a long time.
It really was. It was a really nice evening, and it was also a lot of fun because at 11 o'clock they had a special fireworks show.
That's right.
Just for DVC members. We hadn't planned to stake out a spot. We just happened to be walking past the middle of the park when it started, and we sat down on a bench.
And we had a direct line of sight of the fireworks and nobody around us.
Yeah, it was perfect. And it was a nice, about 15-minute fireworks show.
It really was. And there was a light breeze, there was no humidity. It was like everything fell into place all at once, and it was really fantastic.
And I was eating free ice cream.
And you were eating free ice cream. So we will continue on and see what else we can encounter during our Mickey, Marvel, and More Summer Sizzle Trip Report.
Welcome, people of Epcot, Epcoters, Epcotians, citizens of Epcot. Does anyone know what they call themselves?
Thanks so much for joining us for this very special episode of Mickey, Marvel, and More. And thanks so much to Laura for helping out with all of our theme park traffic reporting and just basically helping tell our story of our Summer Sizzle Trip Report. And thanks so much to our fans and loyal listeners who have stuck with us during this very trying time here at Mickey, Marvel, and More as our Yavin-based studio was flooded. Hopefully now we can get back to a regular release schedule and keep things on track going forward, pending ongoing construction, of course. Be sure to tune in to the next episode where we will wrap up our Summer Sizzle Boots on the Ground trip report. And be sure to check out the show notes for all of the things we talked about during the first half of this trip report, like our lunch at Tiffin's, seeing the baby giraffe at Animal Kingdom, all of the things that we talked about. And while you're there, be sure to check out links to all of our social pages, plus our brand new social page. We now have an Instagram account. Be sure to click on and follow us there as well. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, my name is Mark, and this has been Mickey, Marvel, and More. If you didn't, who am I kidding? Of course you did, because we're in Walt Disney World.